crossing the street, and police say a drunk driver may be to blame. We begin with this late breaking news tonight, the tragic scene playing out in the Stone Oak neighborhood.
This happened after 8 o'clock. Our Avery Everett is going to join us now live. Avery, were the mother and the child in a crosswalk when they were hit?
Yes, Stephanie and Steve, that's why SAPD says this scene is just so upsetting. That mom was out on a walk with her child in a stroller and they were in a designated crosswalk, and that's when they were hit and killed. We don't know much about their identities. We know the mom was Hispanic and the child was likely 2 or under, but the police are still actively investigating this street. I'm going to take a step off to the left so you can see exactly what's happening behind me, and you can basically see all angles of this crash from where we're standing. Police say a man was traveling at a high speed here on Stone Oak Parkway. He hit a curb, lost control, and hit that woman and her child. You can see that's where the driver ended up crashing. Police are investigating this as a potential DWI scene. Now that driver has been detained, but police are urging all drivers across San Antonio and Bexar County to use this as a potential warning sign for the dangers of drinking and driving.
They were both in a designated crosswalk area, walking on the crosswalk when the vehicle struck them. Just a tragic incident that occurred. Every decision we make has consequences.
This part of Stone Oak Parkway will be shut down over the next couple of hours as police continue their investigation here. When we learn more information about the 2 victims and the driver in this crash, we'll keep you updated on KSAT.com. Reporting live, I'm Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
Terrible story. Thank you, Avery. In other news now, a fire destroyed their women's shelter in 2022, but somehow they pivoted and they managed to serve nearly twice as many people the following year.
Yeah, a group literally rising from the ashes. Leaders with the Crisis Center of Comal County say it shows their motivation to help survivors of crisis and trauma.
And the night team's Patty Santos tells us that they're now preparing for the best that's yet to come.
How many volunteers help you guys here?
Right now we have anywhere between 30 to 60 volunteers.
It's taken a crew of volunteers and staff to help Julie Strange carry the Crisis Center of Comal County through its own troubles. Now they continue the mission to embrace survivors of crisis and trauma.
It's a thank you for everything that, everything that you've done to support us to get to this place.
On Saturday, April 13th, the 2-year anniversary of a fire that destroyed their old shelter, the nonprofit will break ground on the construction of an $11 million new shelter and administrative building.
This is something different, and it's going to be lasting, and we get to say we were a part of that, like with clients and with the community.
27 units built in a way that will give families more space to heal.
I want the community to have pride in what they are helping provide.
Volunteer turned board member Jill Johnson says rebuilding the shelter with the community's help is symbolic of their mission.
The concept of being able to rebuild into something beautiful is what the Crisis Center is doing, and it's what these clients are doing, which is more important.
The Crisis Center has only raised about 25% of the total cost of the building. They've gotten grants and city funding. Every little bit helps, including money raised in the thrift store.
Many people come to us with nothing, so we have to help them get everything as much as we can for their houses.
What's not given to victims is sold. This year, the store is expected to bring in about $90,000.
It takes some of the pressure off when people come to buy in our thrift shop. They are not just purchasing, they're purchasing for a cause.
But in faith, they hope to have the new shelter open by summer 2025. Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
We've got an update tonight on a deadly shooting we've been following involving San Antonio police. This is video from the scene on March 4th along Ravina Street. Now SAPD has released the edited body cam video from the officers involved in that shooting. Take a look.
He's already reaching for a gun.
That is the moment one of those officers say they saw 35-year-old Raymond Morales reach for a gun. Police officers say they gave verbal commands as Morales approached them, but the video appears to freeze for 15 seconds before officers get out and identify themselves. Within seconds, the first shots are fired. We chose to freeze the video at this moment for air, but you can see the fully released video on KSAT.com right now. Now, police say they found a loaded handgun on Morales, who was shot multiple times. The department did not say whether he actually fired his weapon. SAPD identified the two officers who shot at Morales as 12-year officer Juan Dominguez and 15-year veteran detective James Quintanilla. The district attorney's office reviewing this video.
I feel like you, Justin Hunt, deserves life in prison since you took away a life, my son, who didn't deserve to have his life taken away. May you rot in hell and worse is done to you.
And this right here is Justin Hunt. He was sentenced to 34 years in prison for killing 32-year-old Matthew Pacheco McKinney back in 2022. His body was found dumped behind an empty apartment in Live Oak. According to an arrest affidavit, the victim had been tied up, tortured, shot, and injected with bleach. Justin Hunt had already been a convicted felon. His latest jail sentence is part of a larger plea deal. Separately, he was also sentenced to 10 years for a felon in possession. So he's going to serve that and the murder sentence at the same time.
Texas controversial immigration law still in limbo.
An attorney representing the state told the appeals court today that state legislators may have gone, quote, too far when they passed SB 4 last year. Now, to recap, this law allows any Texas law enforcement officer to arrest people suspected of entering the country illegally. The court did not make a decision today, so tonight the law is still on hold and it cannot be enforced. Now, new on the Nightbeat, a judge ruled to enforce a temporary injunction against a solar company that wants to build a huge project just outside of the city of Bandera. Now, we've been telling you about this Rio Lago solar project since last year. Landowners around that project want to stop the company behind it, which is Pine Gate Renewables. They're worried that the project is going to hurt the environment and their property values. Today's ruling includes a $10,000 sanction against the company for violating the temporary injunction that was signed in February. You see, the injunction stopped all construction until more studies were finished, but KSAT drones had actually caught heavy machinery on the move in February while that injunction was still in place. So as for Pine Gate, it sent KSAT a statement tonight on the court's ruling saying in part, quote, "We take compliance seriously and will adhere with the court's directive that we redouble our efforts to ensure that such incidents do not occur in the future." You can read that full statement on KSAT.com. One of the city's largest school districts, the Northside ISD, looking for the right person to fill its soon-to-be vacant school board seat. Gerald Lopez leaving. Soon he'll be sworn in as a trustee for the Alamo College's district. That's why they have an opening. So the NISD Board of Trustees hope to appoint someone by the end of May. Then voters will choose the next trustee in 2025. Now, San Antonio wants to do something unique at its airport. It is hoping to change how it uses renewable energy. So today, the city announced a new partnership that leaders hope is going to change the aviation industry. The airport is going to begin working with ARPA-E. That's a government agency that's focused specifically on advanced energy technology. The city is going to help expand on technologies that make planes more energy efficient. And Mayor Ron Nirenberg, he likes the plan.
This is a big deal that San Antonio is now the center of aviation transformation. The whole system of air service is changing, and San Antonio is the bright center of the innovation that's happening.
And here's another reason why this is so unique. This agreement is the first time that an international airport is going to work with ARPA-E on energy technologies.
A group of San Antonio teens is giving back in a big way. Tonight on the Nightbeat, how they're repurposing thousands of HEP plastic grocery bags to help those who are experiencing homelessness.
It is a big deal, huge deal, to get a national award, and one of our local teachers just did. Next on the Nightbeat, you're going to see the moment that teacher found out he was getting what we would say is the Oscar of teaching.
It is an act of kindness shaped by a simple grocery bag. A group of teenagers have a new purpose for those plastic bags that so many of us bring home from the store. And usually throw out. Well, the night team's John Paul Barajas shows us how their efforts are helping those who are experiencing homelessness.
Roughly 40 to 50,000 plastic grocery bags have made a huge difference thanks to Teens Give Back, SATX. High school students are using them to make sleeping mats for San Antonio's unsheltered residents.
Take for granted having a bed to go home at night after a long day of work or a long day of school, and the comfortness that brings us.
That's why Addie Roberts wanted to take matters, or plastic bags, into her own hands to make this.
When we hand those over to the clients that we work with, again, it's invaluable. I mean, it provides warmth, it provides, ability to stay dry, to stay away from bugs. So, all of that matters to somebody who's sleeping unsheltered outside.
Rex Bryan with SAM Ministries says in some temperatures, these mats could save lives by keeping people off the ground. But making one takes 700 to 900 bags in about 15 to 20 hours.
You're going to poke your thumb through, so your thumb will end up being inside of the bag.
Roberts gave me a crash course on how it's done.
You have it kind of like a T, and then you're going to get that same bag and put it through the handles. And then you're going to pull it.
Then you get to weaving.
Pull this part through. All the way? Or
Not all the way. And then you keep another loop. Yep. And then you just keep pulling through.
To get to this. All right. Now it's second nature for Roberts and her teammates, but it did take some practice.
I didn't really see it at first, and I didn't see it for the first all the steps until it was made. But once it was made, I thought it was really cool, and it was.
Over the past year, the group says they made 50 mats thanks to neighborhood bag drives. But a recent partnership with HEB gave them 8,000 bags, allowing them to create 10 mats in just 1 month.
It's just a really nice feeling. Like, even if you're really tired, it's like, okay, well, I did something good.
Now they hope to keep the momentum going by bringing in new volunteers.
Don't tell the boss I'm going to be taking a nap at work.
John Paul Barajas.
I could see why you have actually tested out your work before. A+, this is good.
KSAT 12 News.
Love what those kids are doing. All right, utter shock and surprise. You see it in his face? That's how one Somerset ISD teacher described how he felt after he found out he won a prestigious Educators Award.
This is what I love about this. Luckily, we have video of that very moment when he found out he was in front of his students and his colleagues. All right, take a look.
The Milken Educator Award goes to Juan Dominguez.
He probably thought he was getting punked or something. Yeah, total shock as Juan Dominguez found out he had won the Milken Educator Award. Also, that award comes with $25,000. And here's the thing, Mr. Dominguez, a teacher at Veterans Elementary, had no idea he'd even been nominated.
I love that he was there taking video like, yeah, I can't wait to see who wins. The Milken Educator Award is known to some as the Oscars of teaching. It's an honor given to 75 recipients across the country. That's it, only 75 teachers who've gone above and beyond when it comes to education, both inside and outside the classroom.
I was thinking about all the teachers in the room that were definitely deserved this award. And the moment I heard my name, it was a complete shock. It was unexpected. I woke up this morning and I don't think I could have ever imagined something like this happening to me.
That's the best part. The Milken Educator Award is not considered a lifetime achievement award. Its recipients recognized during their early to mid-career for their current achievements, as well as the promise of what they will achieve in the future.
I love when he had the camcorder, he looked around like, is there another one?
Yeah, is it me?
And we know that just by this, Mr. Dominguez has a bright future ahead of him. Congratulations to him, to his students, to everybody. This is a really big deal. Awesome.
Yeah, I love the crowd at the Somerset gathering, like cheering him on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, 10:16 right now. All right, so cold morning tomorrow?
Yeah, another cool start to the day, but warm afternoon. That's kind of the trend we're in right now. Almost a fall-like feel to the air, and it's going to continue tomorrow. Saturday, you'll notice some changes. Morning fog and drizzle, and that comes with return of some humidity just for a day, very briefly. And we will get to the all-important total solar eclipse cloud forecast updated this evening. All right. Let's start with what it's going to feel like tomorrow morning. We'll be down in the upper 40s for most of us early tomorrow morning. Maybe a few degrees cooler in parts of the hill country, but for the most part, 49, right near 50 degrees for the morning low temperature. So a sweatshirt for the kids at the bus stop. By noon, sunny and already up to nearly 80 degrees. And then by the afternoon, sunny and 85. So making it into the mid 80s tomorrow afternoon. Uvalde up to 88. Heck, I think we'll push 90 degrees closer to the Rio Grande come tomorrow afternoon. And I'm going to get to the 7-day earlier than usual because we have to dive into the eclipse forecast. So let me give you the 7-day right now, and then we'll dive into the eclipse forecast. Notice on Friday, mid 80s again. Saturday, the morning fog and drizzle, leading to a little bit of late day sun, but generally gray. Saturday night, cold front moves in. With it, 20% chance of a few showers or storms clear out for Sunday. Then on Monday, we're looking at clouds in the sky. We do think clouds are likely during the total solar eclipse. Now, here are our chances. We're breaking it down for you. A partially blocked view, we have that at a 60% chance. A 40% chance of a totally blocked view. Now, even if it's totally blocked, it would still get dark outside. Partially blocked, you'd still be able to see at least some of the effects from the total solar eclipse, either through the clouds or breaks in the clouds. Odds of completely clear, perfect sky, 0%, unfortunately. And here's why. The kind of weather pattern that we're in, and that we'll be in as we get into Monday, April 8th, is this upper level disturbance in the southwestern U.S. What that does is it sets up this southwesterly flow aloft coming in from the Pacific. Pretty much every time we get that, we have high clouds that stream overhead. Typically, the high thin cirrus clouds, and sometimes they're translucent, and you can basically see right through them. Like, you know, when we get the ring around the sun through those clouds, those are the types of clouds I'm talking about, and often you can see through them. But there's another factor here, and that's humidity. It bumps up Saturday, gone Sunday. But Sunday night into Monday, it resurges back into place, and that is pivotal in our low cloud cover forecast. So Sunday, cold front moves in, squeezes the humid, cloudy, low clouds to the Gulf Coast. But Sunday night into early Monday, that humid air resurges back over the eclipse path. And often with that pattern, we get low gray morning clouds. And so we think we're going to be dealing with some of those around sunrise. The trick is sometimes they clear at 9 a.m. Sometimes they don't clear until into the early afternoon. Unfortunately, we can't get into those details and specifics until we get into this weekend. The science and technology just isn't there yet. But of course, we will keep you updated because that forecast will be changing. And of course, we will be fine-tuning it for you. But that's what we're dealing with. That's what we're watching.
All right, Adam, thank you.
All right, the Joker and Wemby, we were talking earlier. Larry and I were joking around. They'd make a great buddy movie together.
Yeah.
You said Step Brothers. I said twins. Maybe The Odd Couple.
Odd Couple, yeah. Or like I said, the two guys on Saturday Night Live from back in the day.
Wild and Crazy Guys.
Wild and Crazy Guys.
Yeah, I like that one.
That one's pretty funny. I like to see them dress in those 70s cool disco shirts and do this kind of stuff, right? And say, hey, we're two wild and crazy guys. Well, last night, those two wild and crazy guys certainly put on a show. The Nuggets have a lot of praise for Wemby, and Rory McIlroy is in town. He wants a good week at the VTO heading into the Masters coming up.
It's a great golf course as well. It's a course that I think fits my game pretty well. I've had a little bit of success here in the past.
Rory McIlroy is ready for the Valero Texas Open in big board sports. All right, the Nuggets beat the Spurs last night 110-105 and now lead the season series 3-0. They'll play one more time later this month, and hopefully Victor Wembanyama and Nikola Jokic will face off again and perform like they did last night when Wemby had 23 points and 15 boards. The Joker 42 points and 16 rebounds. Pop is proud of Wemby for taking on the two-time league MVP.
You know, Victor, he gained a lot of respect tonight because, Nikola's the best. And for Victor to, want to guard him and to learn, it was a real testament to how good he wants to be.
Yeah, it's fun, have to be really
it's very demanding in terms of scouting, and in terms of how to, we have to react quickly, and there's no room for mistake on any position.
And then comes back. Victor had a game-high 9 blocks, and even if he doesn't block the shot, he'll make guys think again thanks to his long wingspan.
He's going to be really, 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 really good. Yeah, he's going to be an amazing player. Just his ability to time shots and block really affects the game. Makes you second guess and think about what you're trying to do.
Spurs will next play Friday night at 7 at the Pelicans. The Buffalo Bills have agreed to trade their top receiving threat, Stephon Diggs, to the Houston Texans. The Bills acquired the Texans' second-round pick in the 2025 draft, and Houston will also get Buffalo's sixth-round pick in this year's draft and a fifth-rounder in 2025.
These moves are never easy, very hard, not made overnight, anything like that. But anytime you make a move like this, you're doing it, you're trying to win.
The Bills and Texans will play next season at NRG Stadium. Of course they will. Date to be determined. Turning to golf, world number 2, Rory McIlroy is eager for the first round of the Texas Valero Open. Valero Texas Open, I should say, to tee off. Today he played a 9-hole Pro-Am at TPC San Antonio, and then he met with the media before the real deal tomorrow. Mary Rominger was there, and she has more.
It's difficult to compare any past Valero Texas Open field to the talent of this year's field, Larry. 9 of the top 20 golfers in the world are teeing off here at TPC San Antonio tomorrow, including the favorite to win the PGA tournament, Rory McIlroy. Just yesterday, McIlroy was scouting out course changes at Augusta National, and today, McIlroy arrived in San Antonio with the intention of playing his way into form as major championship season nears.
It's good to be back. It's a good golf course. It's tough. You gotta it's visually intimidating. If you start missing it off the tee, you can get yourself in some pretty big trouble out here. So, it's, especially looking forward to a week like next week. It's good preparation to, get a card in your hand and actually, have to step up and make some really committed swings. And
Rory is just one of 29 golfers in the Valero Texas Open set to tee off at Augusta National next week. From TPC San Antonio, Mary Rominger, KSAT 12 Sports. Larry, back to you.
Thank you, Mary. We've got Rangers, Astros, and an Aggies no-hitter after the break. Texas Rangers and Tampa Bay Rays closed out their 3-game series this afternoon. Top of the 6th, Corey Seager breaks a scoreless tie with a solo homer to right field. It's 1-0 Texas. That's his first this season. The Rangers led 4-0. They win at 4-1, taking 2 or 3 from the Rays. Starter Nathan Eovaldi went 7 strong to pick up the win. Blue Jays at the Astros, and Yordan Alvarez was a one-man wrecking crew for Houston. He went 4 for 5 with 3 runs batted in while hitting 2 solo shots. Astros cruise 8-0, taking 2 of 3 from the Blue Jays.
And the Aggies get a combined no-hitter from Brooke Vestal and Emily Levitt.
Brooke Vestal from New Braunfels Canyon High School got the final out last night to help Texas A&M beat Prairie View A&M 10-0. Emily Levitt and Vestal combined to throw a 5-inning no-hitter in a 10-run rule. Number 14, Texas A&M will host Kentucky starting on Friday.
That's impressive.
It is.
Thanks, Larry.
We'll be right back.
San Antonio police believe a mother and her child were hit and killed here along Stone Oak Parkway just a couple of hours ago, and they believe the driver could have been drinking and driving. I'm going to take a step off to the side so you can get a closer look at this scene. Police are still actively investigating what happened here, and they say this part of Stone Oak Parkway will be shut down over the next couple of hours as they continue this investigation. So it happened just after 8 p.m. We know a man was driving his car at a high speed when he hit a curb, lost control, and then hit that mom and her child. Now, they were crossing in a designated crosswalk. They were walking in that crosswalk. That child was also in a stroller. We don't know much about their identities. The woman was Hispanic, and the child was believed to be under 2 years old. That driver, we know he has been detained, and he is a Hispanic male. SCB says they're going to continue this investigation as a potential DWI scene. Reporting live, I'm Avery Everett,